Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Okay, so this one is a good one. Here I am, about to go to bed, about to get off of all of this, about to just call it a night, get in the shower, and then I get a message on my phone, like a notification saying that Drake's DMs got leaked. And before I clicked on it, I didn't click on it. I had to come to my computer, so I want to watch it live with y'all. I mean, not live, it's pre-recorded, but it's the first time that I'm watching it, and I want to watch it with y'all. So, here we go. Let's buckle up. Let's see what they talking about.
Now, for Drake and all of those other clowns that he rolls with, after making their entire losing strategy after the Kendrick beef centered around these principles that the truth is going to come to light and that when it does, they will be looked at in a way where we are all going to be the ones who realize we were wrong. Well, now when it comes to what's actually happening, we just got to see and find out what some of the truth going on behind the scenes for Drake really looks like. And what we can say after seeing DMs that Drake had going on with people who were on his side in this entire thing is that over everything else, a lot more may be true about what Kendrick Lamar said about Drake than any of us could have ever imagined.
Wow.
And really, with just how strange and off-putting how bad some of these conversations Drake was having that we have now all seen, it really may be over, and this may ruin more for Drake than we have ever seen. And now, before we go any further into all of this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And so now, with that said, when it comes to Drake, well, with every single thing that could have possibly happened to him in this time, this new leak is really one of the worst things that could have came out possible in this moment. Because now we are seeing firsthand how Drake has built an entire team and image for himself that is based on lies and manipulation, and beyond just this, with the way he is communicating with people who have had his best interests and who will not turn or use anything he says against him. He has really shown that he is weirder when we are not looking than any of us could have ever imagined, and that when it comes to Kendrick Lamar and a record in Not Like Us, Kendrick really may have been fully right and on point about even things that people thought he was stretching or taking liberties with on that track, because with this, Drake has never looked worse, as with messages between him and the main guy on DJ Academics' team who goes by a name that I can't even say, because it is just so offensive and weird, which really just puts into perspective the type of people that Drake
I want to see the messages. I don't care about none of this. I want to see the messages.
rolls with when you know what I'm talking about. Firsthand, with the conversations that Drake has been having with the main guy who runs Axe pages and controls the narratives that his face represents. Well, for everything else, Drake has been communicating with the head of Axe team quite a lot, and the two have shared messages that directly tried to take down Kendrick Lamar and spread the worst narratives about him possible. And funny enough, even just show Drake admitting that he straight up lied about some of the biggest points in his back and forth with Kendrick. Like all of his premise on the Hard Part 6, where he said that he set Kendrick up, which while we already all knew that, seeing Drake say he had no idea what any of those pieces that he said he sent to Kendrick and Meet the Grams meant, it is just all the funnier to see Drake straight up lying about what happened in this beef. And for all the people who were trying to act like Drake had something to say here and still believe he won this rap back and forth, seeing a clear admission that the entire premise of the Hard Part 6 was filled with lies and coping from Drake to try and save his own image and reputation is just as funny as it is telling that he lost this thing in record fashion. And from failures like these, to other claims that Drake has been trying to make, which are saying that Kendrick has fixed everything and used big names and personalities in rap to favor him. Overall, with every single thing that Drake is doing in these messages, we are seeing that he is the biggest hypocrite and liar there could ever be, and that there is actual proof that Drake is doing the same thing that he is saying that Kendrick is doing, which is so terrible. And what's really funny is that while Drake fans think he is this creative genius who is always ahead of everybody else, we see here from how he is trying to diminish and take down Kendrick's success, that he is just getting his narratives from the conversation online and then hoping that he's the one who gets praised for it. And between this and Drake just doing things that are not allowed whatsoever with this guy by going behind the scenes, and with certain platforms making sure that certain people cannot say bad things about him by making some awful agreements. Overall, with the extent that we are seeing Drake doing some of these things too, it is just showing that he is playing by a different set of rules than everyone else is, and once again, showing that he is the one who is actually doing things that are not just wrong, but that he is trying to say that Kendrick used to win. And overall, as all of this is showing how fragile Drake is, and really just how desperate he is with his entire suit and what he is trying to take down Not Like Us about, beyond just what we have seen here, even worse than anything beef related in terms of what this can all mean for Drake. Beyond beyond just conversations about the beef and messages that show Drake just crashing out more, as these games he was playing stopped working and everyone just realized how much of a terrible place his career has been at, there was one interaction between Drake and the head of Axe team that didn't just reveal to us more about who Drake is behind the scenes than we have ever been able to see, but really with what went down, this is going to come back to make Drake look worse than he ever has due to the nature of what he is trying to claim is going on with Not Like Us, as with a message exchange between Drake and this guy, in a rare time where the two were not gossiping or planning on how to win a beef by doing everything but focusing on the music. Back a few years ago, there was a conversation set where some weird stuff was all put out that we can see, and now while with this, there is a lot of confusion and debate about what Drake is actually referring to. And guys like the one Drake is talking to here are saying that this is from an interview Drake did, and this is showing how good of a person he is, although this makes no sense and there is nothing to be found from Drake around this time. And to really put it into perspective, these messages were from the night when Her Loss came out, and as these messages were from right when the record dropped, it really would make sense that Drake was out and talking about some sort of a party or event that he was at to celebrate the release of the record. Before we get too deep into any of that, no matter what actually happened and what all that may mean, what we can definitely tell is clear, and it is already showing us everything that we need to know in a way, is that in this message where it looks like Drake was describing a night out or some sort of an experience that he had, with there being a message about how there were two people and based on the numbers he used, they should have just never been around each other or in this situation they are in, and no matter how you try to flip this, and even with Drake saying my man and people questioning whether this is talking about the girl's man or Drake's friend, with Drake responding to something and with a situation that is so off-putting in pretty much every way by saying LOL, in a time where Drake himself decided to make everything because of Not Like Us about character and what type of presence and image he had before this. The way this exchange is written is already doing everything that it needed to just expose Drake on some level, and especially with the cover-ups we are seeing from pages he talks to that are clearly trying to change the narrative, because over everything else, Drake has never looked worse, because in this message, the way Drake casually talks about this and ends something that is very off-putting to most people by saying LOL. In this time where everything Drake has ever done is going to be looked at by his label to establish what his character really has stood for and what his past has been defined by before Not Like Us was released, as this was multiple years before he and Kendrick ever dropped diss tracks against one another. This message is going to ruin so much of what Drake has been trying to prove and say, as for so many reasons. A comment like this exposes and breaks down everything we need to know, because clearly we are starting to see a pattern emerge now where with Drake describing this story with him saying LOL to something this weird, it indirectly tells us that on some level, this type of situation is something that Drake and his crew do run into, but they don't take it seriously or handle this with the proper thought that they should. And with this, you don't need me to spell it out. This could ruin everything for Drake more than we have ever seen, because now his label can just use something like this and say that beyond all of the stuff around artistic expression that they are already using, they can take things to the next level and paint a much more effective picture by saying that Not Like Us did not do a single thing to affect Drake's reputation in a way that revealed and present information that was not already out there. And of course, this entire groundwork would be established with Drake's behavior, and I mean with this message being proof of that, just because again, no matter what you want to say, Drake is the one sitting around in these places where this can happen. Clearly, it is something that he does not take seriously, because who would finish a thought like this by putting an LOL there? And again, even with that, if this is what Drake is doing with someone on this level, I can't even imagine what else he may be doing to people who are much more down with everything he has to offer. But overall, this is exactly why Drake should have walked away with his L from Kendrick Lamar and moved on. Because with him now making the stakes of this beef much bigger by going against his entire label, it is now up to them to prove that things like this for Drake have always been happening, and that this is the behavior from him that has always been out there. And so with what we have just seen, this is just strengthening how the label is going to be able to end his career on a scale like we have only ever seen a few times in the industry. Because with now having definitive proof of how Drake speaks about these things now alongside all of the other stories that there has been about his questionable moves, which again is already something that his label is pushing, again it all builds up an image and character of who Drake is. That is just showing how he does not think and see things like the rest of everybody else does. And so now with Drake getting one step closer to just losing everything with both how weird he is and how strange what is going behind the scenes with him has been as well. To even beyond this, the other messages which show how petty he has been about Not Like Us and Kendrick Lamar's success, Two again full on messages where Drake and the leader of Axe Platform, aside from the man himself, are planning on how to create these massive stories that will make Lamar look worse and Drake look better. All in all, Kendrick Lamar's diss tracks have once again just got better, because now beyond Drake spiraling like we have already never seen, there is now proof confirming that everything we have been saying has actually been going on. And again, with these messages just being with a basic guy who is involved with Axe, with a lot of the more significant stories and moments that may come out, you have to wonder just how bad what they could possibly be like if this is what Drake is saying here. And while we don't know what's actually happening yet, and really with how strange and lame Drake shows he is in these messages, that may not be a good thing. Altogether, what is clear is that with stuff like this coming out and Drake's gimmicks being further and further apparent, his career has never been more over, because now beyond music and how you may feel about whatever he has done in the booth, as this is now so much bigger than the actual music, and this is about the way artists and rappers can express themselves, and also how the industry stands up to an artist who is trying to ruin them because he is no longer in their favorite circle. The more of these moments come out, just see how quickly narratives will build up around Drake that won't help his career at all. And they're only going to fuel Not Like Us one more time and show that when it comes to Kendrick saying that OVO does have a lot of weird stuff going on, that he is fully right. And with this, while Drake may have thought he was doing a good job of keeping the most desperate team in hip-hop by his side to try and retain whatever parts of his career are left, all he has done by having such weird conversations that we can see is make sure that the song that has ruined everything for him just becomes more and more true. And so now with all of this said, let me know, what do you think about what has went down with all of these messages from Drake? Is this the start of him really getting exposed? And what do you think is going to happen from here? Now, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all of this, and if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, if you want to see how in this time, right alongside this happening for Drake, we are seeing one of the worst fall-offs ever from another rapper in the worst way possible, check out the suggested video.
Man, okay. So it sounds like Drake, how Kanye just had the worst meltdown. Oh, I did a video about that already. But it sounds like Drake is a little bit of a bully. And he tried the wrong one, which we know you can't bully Kendrick. But, I mean, Kendrick came out on top on that one. But these messages, they really, I'm going to go back if y'all need to go back to and then pause the read, but I feel like there's more out there than what was shown in this video, and I'm going to do my research because I'm nosy and I want to know. So I'm going to, and if I do find like more messages, I definitely will post it on here. But yeah, I mean, I don't want Drake's career to be ruined, but it seems like right now Drake is in a self-sabotage mode right now. And for the life of me, I do not get it. Kendrick Lamar is a lyrical genius. He goes punchline for punchline. He will tear you to shreds. This is before Not Like Us. So if I knew that before Not Like Us, Drake should have known better. Like, leave that man alone. Leave that man alone. Like, cause Kendrick is thriving right now, and it's not looking good for Drake. And I love Drake. I am a Drake fan. I'm a Kendrick and Drake fan. I wish that this never happened, but while it was entertainment, I hate that it was, for the detriment of Drake's career. So, yeah, Drake needs to leave people alone. And I wonder, Drake needs to watch who he has around him, because how did these messages get out? So clearly he has a mole around him. I don't know, but he needs to just watch who he has around him. Like, no new friends, like you said. Not me. I welcome new friends. I love new friends. Like, I feel like this is left field, but I feel like today welcoming new friends is the way to go. No new friends is the way of a pass. I need new friends, people who think like me. So anyway, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like this video, and I'm going to follow up with more good stuff that goes with this story. I don't know. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to piece it together. All right. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.